So last week, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. I was checking out a customer at the register because I had a register shift that day, and I wasn't on my A game mentally, but I was still there. I was still doing a great job. But I went to mistakenly hand this customer his can of cat food as opposed to his box of cat food, and he just randomly goes, "Looks like you've got pussy on the mind." I look at him, shocked and amazed, like, what? What do you... And I start to laugh, because that's a really random thing for a man in his 60s, 70s maybe even, to ask you. And, I just keep going, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir. What do you mean?" He goes, "It's all right. At least you've got something on your mind." I lose my shit. I start laughing so hysterically at this old man who's just talking about this subject with me. And so I'm ringing him up while laughing, and he's just kind of smiling at me. And then at the end of his transaction, I went to hand him his receipt, and I forgot to give him his last bag of food. And he goes, "Now I know you've got it on your mind." And I just lose it more. I couldn't handle it. This guy was something else.
This is the Mad Sounds Podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Mark.
I'm Johnny.
And this is where we talk about mostly music stuff. That might change for this episode, as you'll see later on. Today we got a very special guest for all you day ones. You may know him as the co-host on the first episode from a year ago. This is the year anniversary of the Mad Sounds Podcast, in case you guys haven't noticed, which is probably most of you. Ladies and gentlemen, from Rewind Reviews, Sean. What up?
Hi. I'm Sean from Rewind Reviews. I was just introduced. That was the whole thing. Hi. I'm happy to be on the podcast.
I still haven't gotten this whole hosting thing down.
Same here. I remember the first time I was on and I was a mess. I'm still a mess. I'm going to be a mess. The whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I was expecting, because I re-listened to a lot of the first episode, and I was expecting it to be a lot cringier than it was. But it honestly wasn't that different. Kind of awkward points. That's just because I didn't really know how to work a podcast. I still don't really know how to work a podcast to an extent, since it's only been 10 episodes. And I'll probably look back at this thinking that, oh, I'm such an expert, when really not much has changed. But,
Growth. It's happened subtly.
Yeah, just all these host changes. I'm basically the Billy Corgan of podcasts.
Basically, we're the Smashing Pumpcast.
We just go over every album individually, like you talking U2 to me. That would be that's actually a great idea. Now I think about it.
I don't necessarily agree with that statement. I will say we're in our melancholy phase, though.
Because we're sad on the inside.
Brilliant.
My joke had layers, because I was also talking about how, I'm the only consistent dude, and Melancholy had a couple of consistent people from the band on it.
Oh, okay. See, that went even deeper than I thought.
Yeah, see? I'm a comedian with layers like Mario.
Or Shrek. See, I don't want to make that Shrek joke. I know. It was right there. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Sean.
So, today we have, I was going to say a very special episode, but it's I feel like every episode, we've never really done a regular episode since episode 3. There's always some big thing going on with it.
Twist!
Yes.
Sorry, I'm kind of sick and on medicine.
Was that a reference? Was that a reference to something?
No, I was just wanting to spout out that there's a twist. You were saying, Mark?
Crap. What? I mean, because every episode so far has basically been one big topic, a couple big topics that have taken over, and I don't think since episode 3 has there been just all timestamps have been 5 minutes apart.
Well,
and that will be an exception.
That's because 2015 was such a massive year for music. A lot of big things were happening,
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of musical stuff we can talk about on this podcast even, but we're not going to do that much because it's a non-music celebration.
Hey! Okay, so we'll entirely might touch on some music stuff outside this segment, but we might as well go right into it now. Right now, we so a few days ago, I posted on this very channel. I'm going to be doing a Q&A on this channel, but with the aforementioned twist, as Johnny pointed out. that it's going to be all non-music related. Just because, when you listen to like a podcast or anything with hosts, I kind of like the idea of getting to know them a little more than just the subject matter of the show. You know what I mean?
Where's my smoking jacket? This needs to be personal. Shit!
Again, the comparison I kind of made was like a SourceFed table talk kind of thing, but I mean, I haven't actually seen these questions, so for all I know, it can go in a totally different direction. It could be all ridiculous. It could be all politics. Who knows?
As somebody who's seen the questions, let's get into it.
Awesome.
Hella interesting.
So, let's just click on this right now, and I'll scroll down these comments one at a time.
Okay.
Right now, from Rewind Reviews. You say, why haven't I never been invited back on your podcast since the first episode? I'm not sure how many people, because I never got any questions of, I miss this guy. It's never been the same since. But I mean, I think it was just because I think a lot of kind of the reason why I changed it to John from Air TV for a little bit until he unfortunately left a couple months ago is that we just talk all the time anyway, and it just kind of made sense. Like if I was going to reboot this, might as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just thought I'd put some kind of joke token question in there. It's good.
I know, but within there's truth within every joke, as I think someone had said.
Someone out there somewhere.
Someone, that guy, the guy who said who said that thing. That's all he ever said, and that's all he ever says to this day. He's an old man in a home. There's some truth in every joke, Martha. And Martha's dead. Martha died years ago. This is a sad bit.
That was perfect.
I think we're getting a little too deep there. I think we should move on.
Yeah. Next up, yeah, good idea. We're having so much fun. Matt Aaron Halt says, who are your favorite and least favorite non-music related people or celebrities at the moment? Ryan Reynolds.
He's a good.
As we touched
yeah.
As we touched on the last episode. You guys think of anything?
Least favorite, Donald Trump. Trump man.
Oh yeah.
If I want to get political in here, I think he's a scumbag, and who should not be the president of our country.
I don't think that's an
not resided. He doesn't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that, Sean. You should feel happy.
I don't. I really hope he becomes president so I can just kind of watch from afar and laugh. It'll be great.
How dare you? Look. I think most of us over here are jealous of you guys across the pond.
All of my other English friends say the same thing, so I understand.
Listen, you guys you're better off not being the victim of all this. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
There's a lot of. Ugh.
Anyway, you guys think of anything else for that one?
Yeah, Chris Pratt. I'm all about Chris Pratt.
Right.
Dude has a great charm. Everything I've seen him in, he's got a good personality. I think he's a fun celebrity. Promotes a good message.
Just a good dude.
Yeah, Kesha, just for what she's going through right now, I think she's strong.
Non-musical? Shit! Non-musical. Nice one.
Sorry. I completely forgot the question and was just like, oh, Daisy Ridley. She's not technically music right now. Daisy Ridley. She's a great positive role model.
Wait, was she? Was she in music at some point?
She's starting to record. She's thinking about recording music with Barbra Streisand right now.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as for me with the question, there's not really much I'm into of the music. I like some YouTubers. I know you're a fan of SourceFed as well, Mark, and I love the Sourcely. William Haynes, he's like my hero, so I guess I'll say him. There you go.
Oh, by the way, you know what? Yeah. That reminds me of some follow-up I wanted to say from the last episode. That I kind of forgot to mention. When we were talking about SourceFed and William Haynes and People Be Like and stuff like that. I forgot to mention that weekend I went to so Will has a podcast himself called She Didn't Text Back with him and Darren Vargerdner, DVG, and I went to a live taping of their podcast in LA that weekend, which was a lot of fun. But sort of going off of Kanye West, I
I'd
like
imagine that'd be a lot of fun.
I like no more parties in LA, but I would change it to no more anything in LA because LA sucks. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh shit!
Mm.
Hashtag Shotes Furred.
Maybe it's because like I went to like a part of it that's really busy, but I don't understand how anyone can live there more than a week and not go absolutely crazy just from driving.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every time I come back from there, I'm just like, wow, San Diego is like so much more pleasant.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little thing I had to get off my chest there.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we got 4 questions from Enrique Fernandez Pero. I'm sorry for butchering. Do you like books? If yes, say what kind of books.
Who doesn't like books? Really? Come on.
Millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, books are great, man.
Yeah, I like books.
That's why we go to audible.com / a free audiobook. Not sponsor.
Okay, just checking. That's the joke I was gonna make. Crap. Well, I ruined it.
We're on the same page though. Then that's good.
Yeah. Yay, teamwork.
I'm just like the third wheel here.
That's how you do a podcast for a year. We're making the same jokes timely.
Yeah. I don't read much outside of class assignments these days.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't have loads of time to read, but I mean, I do like books. I'm not gonna. I don't see how you couldn't. But yeah, I mean, I don't get to read often. I should. I wish I could. I don't have enough time. But yeah, I mean, I like books. That's about it, though. You know.
Yeah.
Pretty simple topic. Pretty simple topic.
There we go. Favorite and least favorite kind of food.
I mean, I eat pizza about 12 times a week.
That's unhealthy as shit. God damn.
You're the most pop punk host we could ever wish for.
Look, man, I love pizza. It's like the greatest food ever made. Next up is pasta. Those are both like my top 2 food groups. Least favorite, anything liver. Liver's kind of gross. It just sounds disgusting. Like I'm gonna eat a liver. Goat livers, they're a thing. Real.
Listen, man, you're praising all kinds of empty carbs, and as a diabetic, I find that very marginalizing.
I'm sorry.
You've triggered me.
Hashtag triggered.
Hashtag triggered.
Yeah, and I know I recycled that joke from a past episode, but it's just fun to make.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, I did the same thing with the whole Jewish thing. Anytime I'm at work, you know, I throw the Jewish card everywhere, like Jew this and Jew that. I'm Jewish man with a Jewish hat.
And a Jewish, not gonna elaborate on that. So yeah, for me, I'm actually kind of a big seafood guy. Like, you know, like sushi and just like sometimes I'll like go with my dad to a crab hut or something and just get a few pounds of crawfish and go through that. I'm really
I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's pretty weird kind of thing to be into. A lot of people just like can't stand it. I like a bit of seafood. It's alright.
Yeah, I mean it's polarizing, but I love it. I don't know.
Mm.
At like some kind of place and there's like a shrimp option instead of like the other options, I'll probably get that, you know. And obviously I work at a sandwich shop, so of course I like that too, kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum.
I'm a big fan of like Indian food, so that's really my go-to, I guess.
Oh.
But I like a lot of stuff, so you know, food's food. I love food.
Okay, and the last one here: thoughts on Spain? You cool?
Never been.
You cool?
Heinz are a good band. They're from Spain. There you go. That's about it.
Okay.
Oh,
I heard about them once on Pitchfork. Okay. Jeff Emerson asks, why do you have to be white guys? Because we don't care about your quotas. Yeah.
Because I was born this way.
Nice.
Gaga
nice.
says I should love myself. So I do in all of my pizza.
And now Abdallah Mohammed asks, why are people so offended by everything these days? Because people just don't have a sense of humor about themselves.
Because we live in a world where, and the rest of the question is more where I was kind of planning on kind of jumping in a little more. People are more socially conscious. We live in a world where social interactions are a lot more steady than they've ever been. And as a result, people see people push to so many extremes. And so, like, yes, a lot of people are aware and don't necessarily know how to take the piss out of themselves. But there's a line, and people should respect other people's lines of boundaries. Is it more intense now than it's ever been? Yes, but that's just kind of what you have to deal with as somebody growing up in this culture. People do a good job of letting people know when they get offended at shit and when they don't. It's just there's a lot more people nowadays who get more offended at more things.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, people like I feel like people don't really. I feel like it's mostly like people that have less like comedic minds that don't really understand like the difference between referencing a taboo topic in a joke, and that's like kind of making fun of that topic and punching down at the people affected by it. Again, like people just don't really have the capability to laugh themselves. Like, for example, I know we keep bringing up SourceFed, but there's this SourceFed animated thing that kind of got some hate a couple years ago, where I believe it was Danny that was telling a story about how she went on a date with a diabetic guy, he just out of nowhere at the dinner table stuck an insulin needle in his stomach, and they were just making fun of that whole idea. And everyone in the comments was all in outrage mode, as it seems to always be in this day and age. Now, that came out before I was diagnosed with that whole thing. And then I wound up watching it again afterwards, and I thought it was hilarious. Because, yeah, that is a pretty ridiculous thing to do on a date without at least telling them first. Mm-hmm. And I think people just lack the self-awareness to just look at that bigger picture and think, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think a topic gets mentioned, and suddenly everyone, it's like a buzzword, and people get offended by it. And I think also, there's one thing about the internet where everyone can easily, and very easily, say that they're offended, and I think that's why we notice it more, because everyone can take to Twitter and say, I'm offended by this, and that's kind of part of it too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And another problem is like when it gets all like disproportional. Like for example, like, and I hate to bring up this kind of crap on a show that I'm associated with, but when Kim Kardashian posted that picture, and then Bette Midler said something, said like a simple joke that's like no different from something that you and I would say, and then she got all kinds of hate for it. But when you really break down what she said, it's really not that big a deal. But just like because you start throwing around these social justice buzzwords to associate with it, it turns into this whole big thing that it really doesn't deserve to be.
Yeah, definitely. I get that.
Well, I think a lot of people nowadays are also, which this part isn't a bad thing. I just think people sometimes take it too far or don't realize that the people involved don't care. It's that we live in an age now, and again, I'm thinking this is a good thing, that people wanted to help defend other people, especially those who aren't necessarily white guys. You know, like people are so quick to defend women or people of a different color, you know, regardless of what that color is. And I think that's a good thing, but people who defend those people sometimes don't understand or don't realize that, yo, I am not offended as a black person by what this other person said, so why are you? Why are you offended for me when I'm not offended? Because I've seen that happen before, too. And I think that there just needs to be a balance, and I feel like as a culture we are slowly, very slowly, finding ways to find that balance.
Okay, so all of us straight white guys have our stuff together about social justice. So let's move on. Okay, Raiden Mixamong, of course, asked advice for anyone who wants to break into YouTube. Look, man, none of us have, so we don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to talk about. I got following, I got people, dude, the singer of the Spin Doctors follows me on Twitter. I've made it, as far as I'm concerned. I've made it on the internet as far as I'm concerned.
That's legit kind of awesome.
Yeah, it is. He does.
Nice.
You should ask him to do a collab.
I don't know if he follows me, but I don't know if it's like
Do
if he
do the
follows me like
do,
that.
do the whisper challenge with him.
Oh yeah. But no, if you want tips, like I can help you with that, man. I wanted to start a series on this on the channel at one point, even though I'm not. People would think, oh, you only have 800 subs, you don't have the right to give that kind of advice. I know what to do. I just don't want to do it because it's a lot of work. Breaking it out on YouTube, making it big on here, takes a lot of fucking work. More work than a lot of people realize. You have to commit hardcore, at least, especially in the beginning. You have to commit hardcore to your idea for your channel, and you have to carry that as hard as you can, whether both on a creative, on an editing, on an execution standpoint. Everything has to be timed so well. You have to be good at consistently doing things, which, again, I'm the worst person to tell people that. You have to be good at networking. You have to sell yourself, which a lot of people don't know how to do and don't like to do. But you got to do it if you want to make it on here. Make friends. This podcast, great example. This is a form of networking that we do not really we unintentionally do as far as networking goes, because we just want to get together and talk about shit. You know, doing collabs, putting yourself out there, talking to dudes who are bigger than you, being like, hey, I'm an up and coming channel. I'd love to maybe do something for you or do something together or yada yada yada. You know, show them your stuff, and if they like it, they'll reciprocate. You know.
Nice.
Got lots of tips. He seems to have thought really hard about this.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Meanwhile, I'm struggling. I'm still struggling to get a video past 100 or 200 views.
I did a show on my channel way back in the day called the YouTube Critic, where I broke down popular channels, what I think they did right and what they did wrong as far as content creating goes. So I mean, I'm done. I know how to do this shit. I just don't like to do it because it's a lot of fucking work. And as my luck would have it, I can't do it right now because I don't have a laptop. So, fuck me. Next question.
You know what? I think something that I've just realized over the last few months that I totally overlooked, like the first year and a half I was doing this on this channel at least, is make sure it's like your content can be incredible, but if it doesn't look presentable, then you're going nowhere. Like,
oh, totally.
I still had an HD camera since November 2014, but it doesn't show because my lighting was complete crap. And it wasn't until I think October or November last year that I actually figured out how to point a lamp that I had in a way that you can actually see my face.
Yeah. That would make the money you invested in a camera worth it. Yeah, totally. Equipment is key as far as getting the stuff you need goes. If you want to up your quality fast, it's good to invest in a good camera, good mic, good lighting, good editing software, all that shit. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that being said, it doesn't automatically mean an increase in success because for some reason my top 10 most viewed videos are all from 2014.
Well, that's just cumulative views. The longer you have shit put out, do shit that finds a niche too. My most popular video is a let's play of a game that I didn't think was gonna be popular. It has thousands and thousands of views now, and it's like, what? Who are these people? Why are they watching me play this kung fu game? This doesn't make sense.
That's interesting because I think something that I've realized looking through my most viewed videos of 2015 at least was that a lot of them were for albums that I didn't think were that big of talked about releases, but no other music reviewers on YouTube had talked about. For some reason, the Mark Ronson album hadn't gotten much coverage on YouTube. The Brian Wilson album, even the Def Leppard album, those are surprisingly a few of my only ones to get past 300 views from last year, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So
that plays into what I. Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, the Adele one is kind of behind that, but it's I expected that one to just totally blow up, but it's there are 20,000 other reviews of it, or it's these really cringeworthy vloggers doing reactions to it.
Mm-hmm. See, Mark, this is why I do reviews of horror soundtracks, because it's well, that doesn't seem like it would be that big, but no one else is going to be talking about it, but other people are going to want to know what other people think about it. You just unlocked the secret of life, Mark. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, you got anything to add about this?
I mean, not really. Basically, just don't expect to break into YouTube. I
Oh,
think,
totally.
like,
Oh, yeah.
find something that you enjoy and do it because you enjoy it, and then maybe apply some of Johnny's tips on the side. But just I can make sure you're enjoying it, and that means you won't burn out when you're doing it, and that
Yeah.
obviously equals success in the long run. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. Do not do it because you want to make it, because that is the worst reason to do it.
Oh
Like-
yeah, because you see these channels that are like at the same level as us, but without nearly like, I don't want to say the humility, because that would mean that it would take a kind of braggadociousness to say that, but I guess that they already assume that they're a huge like vlogger type, and they just style their videos in that way, and to just kind of hop on whatever's big, just assuming that they're going to get the same kind of traction. When really, like what I was saying with me covering albums that hadn't been covered a lot, really just doing something that is your own niche, really just trying to find what makes your channel, like why someone should subscribe to your channel instead of that other channel that does something kind of similar, is really, I think, what's going to make a difference.
Oh, definitely.
Like, you guys might notice the last couple months, I've only put up like 2 regular album reviews in all of 2016 so far, and I think a lot that's just because, between like the reviews and haikus and some interviews and just like and podcasts.
What Mark spins.
Yeah. Even though those are some of my least viewed videos, but that's fine. I think it's a good idea to try to kind of have a few concurrent things going on and just see what sticks.
Like me, I do everything. And then
Yeah.
nothing. I haven't put out a goddamn video this year yet.
And it's like one day you're vlogging, the next day you're let's playing, the next day you're eating fast food.
And then now I just wait. I have videos on the side that I'm trying to work on, but obviously I can't work on them.
Yeah, it's kind of just all over the place, your channel. But yeah, there you go. I mean, I think the main point is none of us have broken into YouTube, so ask someone else.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah, this would have been a good time for Eric TV to be on here, John, because you seem to know everything.
You're just keeping the secrets from us.
Yeah, okay, so
withholding information.
Yeah, so Raiden's next question: favorite or least favorite films? Okay, so let's try and narrow it down. What are some of your like favorites or least favorites of the last couple years?
Oh man. I was all prepared. I had like favorite.
Okay. I'll take it back then.
Okay. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Fucking amazing film. I actually watched it recently. It's been like everyone who likes film is like, you got to see The Godfather. I love film, but I don't care if I see The Godfather. I wanted to see 2001. That film blew my goddamn mind. The fact that that was made in the 1960s, 1970s is astounding. Clerks, another great film. If you want to do one to throw in for the past 5 years, Star Wars, because I'm a huge dork for that.
Okay, cool. It's weird. Like my favorite movie of the last 2 years have both been kids movies. For like the Lego Movie and Inside Out. But I mean, I've been keeping up with like the Marvel stuff's always been great, in my opinion. I just saw the Civil War trailer before recording this.
Spider-Man! Ah! Sorry.
I concur.
You definitely.
I'm sure they're gonna touch up the CG a little bit before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's my favorite movie ever, but something that I think is really underrated is UHF.
Yes.
The Weird Al movie from 1989, and something that I realized recently. By the way, the soundtrack for that is a much better 1989 album than the thing that beat Kendrick. I digress. Yeah, see what I did there. But yeah. But
throwback to a previous episode there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where's John to help me defend this? I'm joking.
Where's his defense of the Bad Blood remix, or who was on what side of that? I forgot.
I was defending the Bad Blood remix because I think it's better.
Okay. But anyway, we've already beaten that argument into the ground. But
non-musical guys, non-musical.
Yeah, but back to UHF. Yeah, but back to UHF.
Something musical.
How is it? The guest is the one that's keeping us on track. I think it says a lot about our dynamic. But anyway, back to UHF. Something I realized about like last time I saw it was that like it's kind of prophetic about the whole YouTube and like self-produced digital content creation thing. That like the whole plot, yeah, because like the whole plot is about for those who don't know, George, the guy that Weird Al plays. He ends up with a very small local TV station that winds up getting huge, and it frustrates the big network, and that network tries to take him down, and it just doesn't work out. And spoiler alert, big happy ending. And I just think that like it's kind of even in that way. It's kind of even better now than it probably was then, which is why it bombed so hard in 1989. We're saying it's ahead of its time, but yeah, it totally is.
Oh, totally. Weird Al's one of those kind of dudes, man.
Yeah. Let me think of. It's weird. Like I've never really made the time to think about like what are my 5 favorite movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
What
here.
about you, Sean? What are some of your... Oh, you're still thinking? Okay.
I'm not much of a movie guy, because I'm already, for a start, I'm young, so I've not seen like a lot of old movies that people consider so good and classics and stuff. And so a lot of my all-time favorite movies, I think when I think about it, just end up being, a lot of childhood favorites because of nostalgia and stuff, because that obviously plays a factor. But other than that, I love The Wolf of Wall Street from a couple of years ago. I thought that was an incredible movie. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I like Star Wars a lot. You guys just mentioned Spider-Man. And while I don't think the movies are great, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero overall, so I did like the movies a decent amount. And I think there's like a really underrated Pixar movie, in my opinion, called Ratatouille, about
who
can cook. It sounds stupid, but like it's so good, and I love that as well.
Oh, I love Ratatouille.
And you know what? The critic, if you apply that to music, that's like us.
Totally. It's a fantastic movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it for me, really.
Yeah. Oh, and something I forgot to mention. I mentioned in my favorite movies of 2015 video, Spotlight was on there, and it won Best Picture. And yes, that was just awesome to see.
A couple others that have been really great from the past few years for me: Nightcrawler and Whiplash. If you guys haven't seen those, oh my god.
Yeah. I feel like I would love Whiplash, but I don't think I could handle it.
Dude, no, seriously. Like, I bought it recently because I had only seen it once. I bought it because I really wanted to see it again. And holy Christ, J.K. Simmons, dude. Oh my God, he is like the most intense dude ever, and it's amazing for a movie about drumming. It's nail-bitingly tense, man.
Okay, yeah, I am gonna have to get around to that sometime. Anything else?
I don't know.
Okay.
It Follows, great horror movie of modern years, but that's about it.
Right, okay, and thoughts on Where's the Fair Use and Make YouTube Great Again. False claims for copyright suck. There's really not much else to say there.
Yeah, I mean,
like everyone's already made videos about it that would be way more comprehensive than anything we have to say.
Especially with like really bad Google Hangouts audio quality. Just go watch other people's. We basically agree with all of them. Obviously, fair use. We need fair use, and that's about it.
Yeah,
and YouTube
as people who critique
that,
things,
and it sucks. Yeah,
that's totally our thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Someone asked something about us and our social issue. We don't want to touch on that. No asks, what's your favorite TV show at the moment? I haven't watched TV on TV in a couple years at this point, and I don't have a Netflix subscription or anything like that. So I guess the only TV shows I watch would be I'm subscribed to late night talk shows on YouTube, like I said last episode. I watch the Daily Show and At Midnight on the Comedy Central website. You guys?
I mean, again, I don't watch lots of TV, but I have Netflix, And right now, what I've been really kind of going through is Skins. I'm on the 6th season, and I think that show's great. Obviously, if I'm up to season 6, I'm enjoying it. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's probably what I'm enjoying most right now.
I don't have cable, but I do have a Netflix subscription, and I mean, aside from the Netflix original shows, I love Daredevil, I love Jessica Jones, I love Orange is the New Black. I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who. I've talked about that multiple times on my channel. I love Doctor Who. What else do I really like? I mean, that's a big one for me. Is that like when I got into that, it was like all over for me. I don't know. I mean, I'm most hyped for Daredevil season 2 more than anything else on television. So I mean, that would probably be my favorite TV show.
Oh, and something I gotta point out. It's not on anymore, unfortunately. But I just saw the Gravity Falls finale, and it was incredible.
What I've heard, it was really good. Like the Gravity Falls finale, especially.
It got me all kind of emotions. It's like if you've ever seen a finale of a TV show that left all kinds of open ends, this is the exact opposite of it. It ties up everything perfectly.
That's good. That's amazing. I'm glad that they've achieved that, especially since it was a 2-season show, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of long seasons, and there were a few hiatuses. But yeah. And I mean, people complain that I know a few people complain like, oh, the endings go on too long, but it's like there's a good reason for that, you know, just to tie up everything and make it as overwhelmingly satisfying as possible, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the main conflict gets resolved like 2/3 in, and the rest of it's just 10 different resolutions that are all worth it.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
It's nice when a TV show can actually end, like properly end, rather than just kind of leaving a load of loose little bits of string all over the place. You know, finish it. Fucking hell.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like one of my favorite shows that I've ever watched was Lost, but Lost had a lot of open ends, and so like I'm glad that a show that ended on its terms with like everything tied up. That's awesome.
Yeah,
exactly. And I hate that, you know, when you finish, you've watched all these different seasons, and yeah, there's still a few things you never get to find out ever. Sorry, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, going back to like the fact that there's only 2 seasons, like, can we just take a moment to admire the fact that a show knew when to end and bow out gracefully?
Oh yeah, totally.
Especially a cartoon in this day and age. Like it's not going, you know, the SpongeBob, Simpsons, Family Guy route.
Parents route. Do you know Fairly Odd Parents is still on the air?
Oh yeah. I saw parts of that season premiere. It's so bad.
Why are they still making it?
They've jumped the shark 3 separate times by announcing new characters. It was like the first time with the baby, which actually I didn't really mind Poof. I know a lot of people did. I thought that there was some okay episodes of that. Then they brought in like a dog, and that was really bad. And now they brought in this like other person for Timmy to like share the fairies.
Yeah,
they're just getting desperate. It's kind of sad. It's like people described it as like self-insert fan fiction, but that kind of got slipped under the cracks and made into the show, and that's pretty accurate.
Well, like, do you watch the show Shark Jumping on YouTube?
Oh yeah. I watched a lot of the Channel Awesome stuff. Yeah.
That's how I found out that Fairly Odd Parents. I used to love Fairly Odd Parents. And
yeah, me too.
It looks so terrible now.
I know. It's like what they do to Cosmo, man.
Right?
It's like he was stupid back then, but he at least like
he was lovable.
He could take care of himself.
Yeah.
You know, like Flanderization is just like, I think it's kind of the main sign of when a show needs to end is when like when stupidity becomes the only trait of the stupid character.
Mm-hmm.
Like case in point with Patrick and SpongeBob and you know all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that finale is great. Let me see like other questions that we haven't answered here. What are your favorite horror movies? I think we kind of already answered that. Johnny, you said It Follows.
It's not my favorite of all time, but I mean, like of the last 4 or 5 years, yeah, It Follows is astounding. Great horror movie that doesn't rest on modern laurels. It's good. I'm a horror snob. I like horror movies, and I'm kind of a snob about it. Like The Shining is my favorite horror movie. I'm a huge fan of scary shit, so
Okay.
yeah.
There you go.
And the closest I can get to a horror movie is the reasons for R in Deadpool.
That is
Yeah.
funny.
And let's see here. There aren't really any other ones that aren't just like, goof questions, big old goof questions.
You don't want to answer the one about the thing, the social issue. You don't want to answer that.
What is considered slut shaming to you? I don't know.
Anything that a woman finds degrading to them. Isn't that what slut shaming is, right? That's what it totally is.
I guess, but I don't want to start
It's a
a
contextual
thing
answer.
but the comments. I don't want to start something.
And it's kind of hard to answer, it's just like a line, and you need
let-
context. It's kind of hard to.
Sean, it's a contextual answer, right? Like every
Guy-
woman has a different line, and so like again, it's about respecting the line, regardless of what it is. Like any woman should be happy to do whatever they want without scrutiny, right?
Guys,
right.
Okay, and we end it here. Because I don't want to go down this kind of rabbit hole.
Hey man, I mean, I'll stop.
And I think that's basically everything in here. I didn't think about what we were gonna do after. Was there something else that we were gonna touch on?
Yeah, Mark. Considering you have been the only constant in this year of Mad Sounds, what are your thoughts on a year of this podcast endeavor? What do you? I know one thing you would have wished for is more consistency, but like, what are your thoughts? What are your hopes for the future of the show? All that jibbity jab.
Yeah, I mean, as the self-proclaimed Billy Corgan of podcasting, I mean, it's hard to say that. Again, it's hard to say there's a lot of difference from when it started, honestly, because most podcasts go like weekly, whereas we're on episode 10 at this point, so we're kind of averaging like less once a month at this point. So maybe 3 weeks since the last episode, so that's a little better. I mean, like I said in my Spin It Resolutions video a couple months ago when the year started, I kind of like if we can get on a basis of like twice a month. That would be an ideal thing for me.
Yeah.
I think that maybe if we keep going as like a two-person thing, like me and you, Johnny. So we don't have to. And Sean, this isn't meant to any offense, but it's like kind of having to work in with three different people's schedules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially with me in the UK, like the schedules were a little weird for this one.
Yeah, time zones and all that.
It's 4 in the morning. I'm joking.
Yeah, because like I have to go to a class in an hour, and it's like dinner for you, Sean. So
yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So yeah, I mean, definitely two-person thing. Keep it at that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So anyway, politics.
But well, no. Like, do you have any ideas, any visions you want for the future of the show? Like a year of Mad Sounds. It's been a mad time. Do you want to do a soundtrack? Do you want to do something for the benefit of the youth of America? We should get this on the streets. Politics. Rally your congressman. Mad Sounds on the radio.
Mad Sounds for President 2032. Like I said earlier, like there hasn't really been that many episodes that's just like us talking about whatever, and I kind of like that because there are some podcasts that I listen to that even I like where if it's not guest based, then it's just you can listen to an episode and just be like, okay, that was just an episode. Whereas I kind of like there's something kind of special about each one. What we've been doing with Mad Sounds here, whether it be introducing our little guest co-host, or like having a couple big topics to talk about, or something like that.
I definitely like that because, I mean, as I stated on the podcast before, I am a part of another podcast. We meet even less regularly than you and I do, Mark. And that podcast is a lot more freeform. We literally just go off of every deep end of topics. And I mean, it is just kind of, we've all been friends since high school, so it has that kind of feel to it. And I like that this is something completely different for me. I like that it's super topic based. The topics are a lot bigger. And there's a focal point to it. I like that.
Kind of going off what we were that little thing earlier, where I was really hesitant to start going political and big issues and stuff like that. I think a lot of that is because so the class I'm going to be going to later today is a political science class that I kind of need in order to move on with theory and stuff. So the first half of the class is this thing where we bring in current event news stories and have everyone in the class have like a round class discussion about it. And just imagine an hour of 30, 20-somethings at a community college talking about Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
It can feel very self-righteous, very head up assy, very. It's like people basically are just like hearing the sound of their own voice, and I think that I'm really hesitant lately to bring up topics like that, just out of fear that it can start a whole thing.
I can respect that. I mean, I'm a guy who's like, I never touted myself as a political dude, even though Rage Against the Machine has been one of my favorite bands since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But I don't like to delve into politics because I'm a passionate dude, and like topics like the ones written in the comments, I have a lot of opinions about. And as a white guy, I shouldn't be speaking on behalf of people that they're about because, again, I'm a white guy. But I mean, I still am for the protection and equality of everybody. So like when people are like, "Why is everybody so offended? What the fuck? We're rich." Like, so I have a lot to say about that sort of stuff. I would be the worst person to have in your class, basically, Mark, is what I'm saying.
No, I mean, you seem like I mean, it seems like you like have the self-awareness to know when you might be starting to go up your own butt and kind of stop.
Yeah, I know what my shit smells.
Yeah, the thing is that like I realized recently that without getting into specific people and issues and stuff like that, I'm a hard centrist. Like, I'm one of the few people. I think I'm like unfortunately in like a minority of people that thinks political parties should probably complement each other instead of being in this weird civil war every 4 years.
Oh, I'm not opposed to that ideal. Honestly, I feel like that's a more harmonious, country to live in. But sadly, as it is, it's not.
Yeah. So Sean, just so we don't totally alienate you with our national politics.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible, so it doesn't totally. Are things kind of similar over there?
No.
Would you say in the UK?
I mean, there's this whole kind of war between parties every few years, and it's really annoying. It'd be good if it was a little more complementary between them. But I mean, it is kind of a whole coalition thing, and we have all that type of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm a young boy. I don't worry about politics, so to be fair, I've not looked into it.
I have a friend actually who lives on your side of the globe, Sean. He was talking to me about politics around the last time you guys had an election, as it were, and he was telling me about a lot of the issues. And honestly, the issues over there are almost more severe than they are here in some instances, and it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, there's different issues though, like healthcare and stuff, because we have it kind of free over here. Things like that. You have other issues, obviously.
Yeah. Wait. Crap, I was gonna say something.
Don't you hate that when you force just disappear out of your head, like a little bit of wind? Just like.
Yeah.
I know. That's probably a good way to segue out of this more serious topic here.
Politics on Mad Sounds.
I mean, then again, we could talk about how the debates are now a literal dick measuring contest.
Oh yeah.
And I do mean literal in the case of last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literal.
Yeah, like actually talking about the size of your. You're lucky you're in the other hemisphere, man. So I guess we can just end just by like talking about whatever. Like, what's been going on with you guys?
Okay, I will say, from a YouTube perspective, I'm going to be in the access of a friend of mine's laptop very soon again, and I hope to utilize that to not only make stuff, but to fix one of my other laptops. So
Okay.
that's a thing.
Yeah, nice. So when you get back to uploading, after like what's been a couple months at this point, like what do you think is going to be your big comeback?
Well, I have 3 videos right now. One of them is a welcoming back / answer to my Q&A I posted months ago before I lost access to a computer. One's going to be me eating food, because, hey.
Naturally.
And then the other is actually going to be a movie review.
Nice. Of what?
Yeah. Deadpool.
Nice.
Nice. By the way, Sean, we should probably talk about your channel just for people that aren't really familiar.
Yes!
What can we expect on Rewind Reviews?
I mean, to be honest, it's predictable. It's kind of same old, same old. I do reviews of albums. I pump them out constantly. I don't do much else. I've been trying to do more collabs like this, which is fun. And I've been coming on a couple of podcasts. Got one lined up this week, another one as well. So, I've been trying to do more collabs like that. But, I am just doing the same thing over and over again. Probably just less videos in the future, to be honest, because I've got exams coming up. So, not much exciting, to be honest. That was a pointless kind of whole thing. But, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Now, we were talking earlier, and you pointed out that you were going to be doing another podcast after this. What's that?
It's with this guy called Soul Show, who does a lot of different reviews of a lot of different types of things. He talks about music, TV shows, movies, kind of all over the place. And he basically just does a podcast where he talks about random stuff. And he decided, I'm a music reviewer guy, and he likes music, and he's just invited me on to, talk about stuff. And so I don't know really what it's going to be like, because he's only just started the podcast up like recently, but I think it'll be fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, nice. Okay, so let me see here. So I think we kind of started recording around like 11:10 or 15ish. So maybe we can go for a few more minutes and then end there.
We could just kind of end the podcast with lots of hms and ums as we try to think about topics. I think it'll be really entertaining for everyone.
Yeah.
Listen, man. On that first episode, I was editing in Windows Movie Maker. I'm a little more advanced now. I can edit out the pauses. Thank you very much.
Oh no, I just thought it would be like we should purposely put them in, just like a whole montage of them. It'll be great.
Yeah, for the 10-year anniversary, we can just make a 6-hour clip show of pauses.
We should do a series of Jeff Goldblum impressions for the 10th anniversary.
That would be That would be very entertaining for our audience.
I agree, concur. I do.
Well, listen, listen. You spend so much time thinking about whether or not you can. Stop thinking about whether or not we should.
This podcast is off the fucking rails.
When hasn't it been?
Oh man. Fucking choice decisions, bro. Gets them every time.
That's gonna. I feel like we should make that the new motto of the show instead of good music podcasts for people who like good music podcasts. It'd just be it's fucking choice, bro, with you in sunglasses with the thumbs up in the corner.
Dude, no, we could do that. I could send you that, man. Like, I can make that picture happen. I have 2 different sunglasses. I just went shopping recently.
Oh, I mean, it might make things a little less accessible for the youngins, but
I mean, Californication thing to show David Duchovny has lots of sex in it. Also, Sean, how old are you? You make me feel old talking to you when you mention you're young. What the fuck?
I'm 15.
Wait, really?
Ah!
Oh, wait. For some reason,
I'm 8 years older than you.
For some reason, I thought you were like 17. I don't know why.
Nah, man, I'm a little boy still. I got a baby face.
Okay, Sean, we cannot. I was thinking, hey, maybe me and Sean can collab. I cannot do a collaboration with you, Sean. It makes me feel a little weird. Like, you were fucking so young, dude.
Yeah, man.
You were young as fuck,
Yeah,
man.
you know, it's funny. Usually, whenever it would be me, Johnny, and John, Mark and the Johnny Bunch, a running joke would be how I make them feel old because I was like 8 when American Idiot came out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
now I kind of want to see one with Sean and the Johnny Bunch.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be
What would happen there?
worse, man.
I was born the same year that Hybrid Theory came out. How does that make you feel?
Stop talking! Jesus fucking Christ, dude!
And you've been having legitimate conversations with them. How do you feel about that?
Like, Alice in Chains' Dirt came out when I was born. Rage Against the Machine's debut, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you know what? Let's bring it back to one other question that I was too scared to skip over. What is your favorite fictional character to fap to?
Is that a real question?
From the
Seriously.
conversation.
That's a real,
Of course
no,
it's
that
Jack
was a real
Anderson.
question.
God
That
damn.
was the one that I was prepared not to answer.
It's fine. It's fine. We all know it's
Topical answer, Deadpool. I mean, all day, every day. Let me some red spandex.
that's an acceptable answer.
Yeah? We should stop this conversation because you're 15.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. Our next guest, our next guest will be Chris Hansen. And on that lovely note, it's been about an hour at this point. So let's just end it here.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, and Mad Sounds was good to me too. For a year, I've been doing this show. Johnny's been doing this for like 8 months or something at this point. And it's been nice. It's been nice.
Been, as I would say, fucking choice.
Anyway, if you guys had thoughts on anything we talked about here, or just have suggestions, or I guess because we were kind of looking inward and meta on Mad Sounds for this episode, do you have any tips on what we could do? Like any ideas for segments? You know, just be creative for me. Let me know in the comments down below. Because God knows we have no originality in our bones. That's why we just judge other people's work for our content. Anyway. So if you guys want to get an MP3 of this episode to put in your iTunes or in your car or whatever, there is a link in the description where hopefully it should work if you put it into that converter site. Sean's channel and Twitter and all that will be in the description along with Johnny's channel and Twitter like usual, and my Facebook and Twitter, all that, if you want to follow us on those various things. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for being here for this special episode of Mad Sounds.
You're welcome, Mark. It was fun to be back. I had a good time. A
Yeah.
messy, fun, awkward time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean, for joining us, making me feel old. And thank you, Mark, for also bringing me along for this mad journey through the Mad Sounds.
And with that, we say goodbye. Guys, sign off.
See you next time. Or hear you next time.
Hey-o!
Brilliant. Amazing outro. Come on. That was cool.
Man. Yeah.